Hey everyone, it's Eric Jensen again. So lots going on in sports despite no football this weekend. First weekend with no football for yeah. No, well, it's all good. Anyways, the biggest story that's been going on this week, after we had the Tom Brady retirement and whatnot, then we've got Brian Flores, ex-coach of the Dolphins, saying that the NFL is racist because of their hiring practices and how he got fired and how the Dolphins were paying him to lose games, to tank, that sort of stuff. So let's dig into this. First off, the Rooney Rule, which is that NFL teams have to interview at least one minority candidate before making any hire. I think that's ridiculous. Granted, I could be wrong. I'm not in these rooms, but to me, most of these teams, they are set up to want to win and do what they can to win. And I'm not saying they do this right, but I think their thought process is bringing in whoever they can to help them win football games. Um, I think any mandate based on race these days just isn't a good thing. It in itself is racist, I think. So I am against all of those. I don't know why there aren't more African American coaches, but I don't know. One thing I can say is that some of the accusations don't seem to pass the test. For example, he claimed that the Giants only interviewed him because of the Rooney Rule, and it was a sham interview. Well, they had already interviewed other minority candidates before, so interviewing him, they didn't need to interview him to fulfill that candidate. And granted, teams are trying to get a GM head coach combo most of the time as well, working together. And so the GM is going to bring someone from whatever organization he was probably at before or has worked with before. Again, that's sort of what happens in these businesses. Is it's a people business, and you hire who you know. Some of I did hear Tony Dungy talking about it, and he said he was against the teams interviewing assistant coaches while they're in the playoffs, and that makes sense to me. So there's the Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Apparently, he doesn't interview all that well, or that's the story that goes around. And Tony Dungy made a good point saying that, if you're in the playoffs and you're preparing for other teams and then you go to interview, you're not going to be as well prepared as someone who hasn't been working or isn't working, and they can pour everything they can into getting that job. So I think that is a good thing, not allowing teams to interview. I don't think it does good for the either the candidate or the team to interview someone that isn't ready to be interviewed because they're focused on something else. But sometimes we have to just say, well, maybe they're not good at interviewing, but maybe that could be the hang up, is they might not interview good. That doesn't mean they wouldn't be a good coach. It doesn't mean that they wouldn't be successful, but that might, like testing. Some people are really good at taking tests. Some people, even though they know stuff and can do all the other stuff, freeze up during tests. So I don't know how to solve it. In the end, the world isn't fair. It really isn't. And there shouldn't be any discrimination, especially based on race. That is plainly wrong. And if that is happening and someone can prove it, they should be out. I don't think anything that Brian Flores has brought up has I haven't seen any of the evidence of it though. I mean, his other one was John Elway was disheveled, and so he obviously wasn't interested in the interview when he interviewed a couple of years ago with the Broncos, and then it turns out, well, John Elway reorganized his schedule to fly overnight to meet with him. So of course he was disheveled. He was flying overnight and whatnot, and worked out his schedule just to meet him. Again, that doesn't seem like that's the case. Now the other thing going on is the paying to lose games, that accusation that he was paid to lose games at the Dolphins, and then Hugh Jackson also chimed in and said when he was the Browns coach, he was getting paid to lose games. I could see that. That seems more feasible to me than the racism thing. Because, I mean, how do you get good? Why are the Bengals in the Super Bowl? Well, they've been a top picking team for the past decade. You get enough talent, you're going to do good. You had the number one pick, got Joe Burrow. He turns out that he looks like he's a real good quarterback. And that's how you get better. You get good talent. So an owner is trying to get their team to tank. Now, if the owner was stupid enough to leave a trail or to actually offer money, like in a way that could be traced back, well, he's going to be gone. There's no, you can't be fixing games in the NFL, especially when they've, embraced gambling. So he'd be gone. Yeah, that's, anyways, we don't have any evidence of anything as of yet. I think Brian Flores is trying to hope that other people join in. That's the class action lawsuit. Are other people going to jump in? I don't know. And really, he's shot himself for coaching in the NFL, I think. Who is going to hire him now? Now he could drop down to college maybe and coach there, but I think he has given up his football. So maybe he truly believes it. So we'll have to see. If there's evidence that comes out that we don't have right now, then I'm all ears, and they should fix stuff in the NFL. If no evidence comes out, then you've got nothing. So that's so. To long story short, let's see. And again, I don't like the Rooney Rule. I think that people want to win. Anyways, other big things going on. The Olympics are starting. That's exciting. Other than that, they're in Beijing and there's no fans, and it's whatever. But hopefully they're pretty entertaining. We'll try and follow some of the stuff that's going on. Again, I had it on last night. My wife and daughters, they love like the ice dancing and that sort of stuff. I don't like the judging stuff. I think it's not so much of a sport as much as the ice skating, the skiing, the measurable stuff is a lot more entertaining to me, and so I'll pay closer attention to that stuff. But there's stuff for everyone, and we'll touch on it. Let's see, other things going on. We've got college basketball still going strong. USC barely scraped by Arizona State last night. They just haven't been great. But around the country, I mean, you've still got Auburn looking good. Gonzaga is looking amazing. You've got Kentucky rising up. So there's some good contenders. I think Kansas is still pretty good. Duke is going to be a challenge. So, and in the Pac-12, they've got Arizona and UCLA as well. UCLA just lost to Arizona, so that series was split 1-1. I tend to think Arizona is a little bit better than UCLA still. And I don't think USC, if they're playing like they are right now, I don't think they're on the level of either of those teams in the Pac-12. So hopefully they turn things up and get back to playing really good basketball and actually hitting shots. That was their problem in the last game. They weren't hitting any shots, and they were going up, and I think Arizona State had about 10 blocks. So not so great. Anyways, they won. Better have a bad win than a good loss. Other things going on. There was something else. I mean, we had signing day. Not much happened there. Still very excited about Caleb Williams being at USC. It looks like they're doing a good job there, and I think we'll see how they develop. It's all about player development now. The NBA is going to start getting into the spotlight here, and all I can say is there's nothing going on that's worth watching in the NBA right now. So we'll check in maybe in a little bit. Oh, the other thing, U.S. beat Honduras 3-0. I mean, it was in Minnesota. It was freezing cold. That was a ridiculous place to play it. Just absurd. No one should be playing soccer in 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what they were doing. And it just looked miserable there. It was a good win. They're still 4 points behind Canada, but it's looking pretty good. I think there's 3 more games in the qualification cycle, and right now they're tied for second still with Mexico, and looking like they will clearly qualify. There's just something lacking in their attack, unfortunately. So hopefully they can get that turned around. They did get 3 goals, so you can't complain about that. They were all on set pieces, but it was against Honduras too, and it was in 0 degrees. It's hard to evaluate a game there. Let's see. Trying to think. Scroll through all the rest of sports, and I think that is about it for now. Next week we'll preview the Super Bowl. We'll continue to keep everything updated on the whatever is going on with the Flores stuff, and soccer is going to be starting up. The club leagues are starting up again after the international break, so that we'll dig back into the Premier League, although that's pretty much Manchester City's now. So anyways, that's about it. So have it so good. Bye.